Once again, I welcome you all for Standard 9th, subject Science and Technology Part 2. Students, we will be continuing with chapter number 17, Introduction to Biotechnology with Module 4. My name is Ms. Jagjit Kaur. Students, before beginning with the module, let us see what are the learning objectives. So in this module, you will be learning about the rise of biotechnology, then what is biotechnology and the uses of biotechnology. Then you all will be understanding about tissue culture and the changes in agricultural management due to biotechnology. And also, what are the applications of biotechnology in floriculture, nurseries, and forestry. Then you will also be understanding about agri-tourism and agro-complementary occupations such as animal husbandry, poultry farming, and sericulture. Students, before beginning with the module, let us recall what we have studied in Module 3. So we studied that process of acquiring a permanent and specific structure, shape, and location to perform a specific function is called differentiation. And by differentiation process, the meristematic cells produce permanent cells. And we studied about the two types of permanent tissues as simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. And simple permanent tissues are made up of only one type of cells, and simple permanent tissues are divided into three different types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Further, parenchyma supports store the food and fill the vacant spaces, and parenchyma is divided into two subtypes. The two subtypes are chlorenchyma and erenchyma. And chlorenchyma is present in green leaves and performs photosynthesis. And erenchyma helps aquatic plants, leaves, and stem to float. We also studied about collenchyma, and collenchyma supports and gives flexibility to various parts of the plant. And sclerenchyma gives strength and rigidity to the parts of the plant. And complex permanent tissue are made up of more than one type of cells. Complex permanent tissue is divided into two types, that is xylem and phloem. And xylem consists of thick-walled dead cells and conduct water and minerals only in the upward direction, whereas phloem consists of cytoplasm containing living cells and conduct sugar and amino acids from leaves to various parts in upward and downward direction. And we also studied about epidermis, and epidermis is the entire outer surface of a plant which is made up of only one single continuous layer of cells. And the epidermis of the stem and leaves is covered by cuticle, which is a wax layer. Students, now let us see about the rise of biotechnology. Now, some cells in the body of living organisms are totipotent. Now, what do you mean by totipotent? Totipotent means it is capable of giving rise to any cell type or a complete embryo. And in the proper environment, a new organism can grow from these cells. And due to this totipotency of the cells and their genetically controlled biochemical processes, varieties of products can be manufactured. For example, high-yielding crops, new species of animals, various vaccines, etc. And the new branch of biology, that is biotechnology, rose due to such inventions. Now, what is biotechnology? The techniques of bringing about improvements in living organisms by artificial genetic changes and by hybridization for the welfare of human being is called biotechnology. Now, genetic engineering and tissue culture are the two techniques used in the biotechnological processes. Now, what is genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is the process of using recombinant DNA, that is rDNA, technology to alter the genetic makeup of an organism. And what is tissue culture? Tissue culture is the growth of tissues or cells in an artificial medium separate from the parent organism. Students, now let us understand the uses of biotechnology. Now, biotechnology is used in the production and improvement in varieties of cash crops. It is used in increasing the abilities of plants to withstand environmental stresses. Then vaccine production and early diagnosis of congenital diseases. Then biotechnology is used for organ transplant. It is also used for the research in cancer. Then biotechnology is also used for the production of artificial skin, cartilage, etc. in laboratories. Now students, scientist named Frederick Campion Stewart. He was born in the year 1904 and he died in the year 1993. He was a British botanist and he had shown that cells and tissues can be grown ex vivo. Now, what do we mean by ex vivo? Ex vivo literally means that which takes place outside an organism, and in science, ex vivo refers to experimentation or measurements done in or on tissue from an organism in an external environment with minimal alteration of natural conditions. And to prove this, he isolated, that means Frederick Campion Stewart isolated the cells from carrot root and cultured them in a nutrient medium. And he also proved that each cell has the ability to produce a new plant. Now let's learn about tissue culture. Tissue culture is the technique in which ex vivo growth of cells or tissues in an aseptic and nutrient-rich medium is done. Now the medium for the tissue culture technique is either a liquid, solid or gel, and these mediums are prepared from agar, which supplies nutrients and energy necessary for tissue culture. Students, now let us understand about the changes in agricultural management due to biotechnology. Now, genetically modified crops or GM crops or GMO, that is genetically modified organisms, are the varieties produced by changing the DNA of the natural crops. And these varieties are not available in nature, therefore they are produced by modifying their genome. And naturally occurring varieties cannot withstand environmental stresses, but GM varieties can withstand environmental stress and still survive. They have the ability to grow in any such adverse conditions. And GM crops are resistant to insect, pest, pathogens, chemical weedicides, etc. Therefore, the use of harmful pesticides can be reduced, decreasing in turn the pollution. And there is improvement in nutritive value and decrease in loss of crops when GM crop seeds are used, and seeds of a better quality of crops are being produced by biotechnology. And this has created increased cultivation throughout the world, and high yielding varieties, that is HYV, of GM crops like banana, maize, rice, potato, soybean, tomato, cotton, apple, brinjal, papaya, beet, rose, tobacco, wheat, etc. are now available. Now, pest-resistant genes have been introduced in some of the following crops, such as maize. It is MON 810 and MON 863. And in potato, it's Amflora. Rice, golden rice. Then in soybean, it's Vestive Gold. Then tomato, it's Vaishali. And cotton as BT cotton. Now, through tissue culture and biotechnological practices, green revolution is possible. And India is producing sufficient food grains now and for her large population. Let us learn about the application of biotechnology for necessity of nurseries. Now, for the purpose of growing gardens on a large scale, afforestation, reforestation, etc., nurseries are necessary. Large number of seedlings and then saplings are needed to carry out any such projects. And for this cause, tissue culture methods are applied. Now let's understand about the benefits of tissue culture methods. Growing best quality plants on a large scale that can bear flowers, fruits of excellent quality, producing fully grown plants in less time. Then large-scale production of plants even when means of pollination or germinating seeds are not available. For example, orchids or pitcher plant do not germinate, but they can be cultivated using tissue culture methods. Then in tissue culture techniques, bioreactors are used in which cells can be grown in a more nutritive medium and are protected from pathogens. Then plants can be produced on a very large scale in some bioreactors. And bioreactors are useful for producing plantlets on a very large scale. And in a short time, using minimum resources and materials, large number of plants can be produced by tissue culture methods. Then disease-free and virus-free plants are produced by tissue culture and genetic modification techniques. Then hybrid embryo produced by tissue culture technique always complete their growth. Then rare and endangered plants can be protected from the extinction by growing them with tissue culture techniques. Now let's understand about agritourism. Agritourism is the emerging field of business, and the tissue culture technique are used here to produce flowering, medicinal, ornamental, vegetable plants and fruit trees on a large scale. A fully self-sufficient agritourism center can be developed by growing some of these plants. Now, some units developed at agritourism center are regional fruit trees such as mango, chiku, guava, coconut, custard apple, etc. Then shade-giving local or exotic attractive plants, ornamental and flowering plants, then butterfly garden, medicinal plant garden, organic vegetables and fruits. Then tourists come in large numbers to visit such centers, and at the centers selling plantlets or seedlings, fruits, vegetables, etc. can be a very profitable venture. Students, now let us understand about the agro-complementary occupations. And under agro-complementary occupation, first we will understand about animal husbandry. Now, animal husbandry is agro-complementary occupation. Animal husbandry is practiced for milk production and for using the cattle for farming operations. And in animal husbandry, the number of cattle, their variety, total milk production, cleanliness in cattle shed, then arrangements for health care of cattle, etc. are taken into consideration. Now, cows and buffaloes raised for milk production, beasts of burden such as bulls and male buffaloes, can provide us animal wealth. Then there are local Indian varieties of cows such as Sahiwal, Sindhi, Gir, Lal Kandhari, Devni, Killari, Dangi, etc. There are also exotic varieties of cows such as Jersey, Brown Swiss, Holstein, etc. And for a clean and high yield of milk, care of cattle is necessary. And a balanced diet consisting of all nutrients, fiber-rich coarse food, fodder, and sufficient water should be fed to the cattle. The cattle shed should be clean and dry with proper ventilation and a roof, and cattle should be regularly and periodically vaccinated. Now the next agro-complementary occupation is poultry farming. Now poultry farming is rearing of chickens with all the care and techniques to obtain egg and meat. And objectives of hybridization of Indian Asil and exotic Leghorn varieties of chickens are to produce good quality chickens in large numbers, then to develop the ability to withstand high temperature, and to use byproducts of agriculture as poultry feed, etc. And chicken reared for both eggs and meat are Rhode Island Red, then New Hampshire, Plymouth Rock, and Black Rock. Then layers are egg-laying varieties such as Leghorn, Minorca, Ancona, and Lehman. And broilers are meat-giving varieties such as Brahma, Long, Cochin, and Asil. Now the third agro-complementary occupation is sericulture. Sericulture is the agro-complementary occupation for the production of silk through silkworm. Bombyx mori is the most commonly used variety for obtaining silk through sericulture practice. And in the life history of silk moth, Bombyx mori, there are 4 stages, that is egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Eggs laid by female moth are incubated artificially to shorten the incubation period. And larvae are nourished by feeding on mulberry leaves, and after feeding for 3 to 4 days, larvae move to branches of mulberry plant. The silk thread is formed from the secretion of their salivary glands. And in the larval stage, the larva weaves the silk thread around its body and forms the cocoon. And this spherical cocoon is taken care of. And before the pupa turns into an adult, all the cocoons are dipped into boiling water to kill the silkworm within. And the boiling water also makes the silk fibers loose. And these fibers are then unwound, processed, and reeled. Various kinds of fabric are woven from the processed silk threads. Students, this was the end of the chapter. Now let us summarize what we have learned in today's module. So we studied that some cells in the body of living organisms are totipotent, and the techniques of bringing about improvements in living organisms by artificial genetic changes and by hybridization for the welfare of human beings are together called as biotechnology. And biotechnology is used for early diagnosis of diseases and their treatment, improvement in varieties of cash crops, increase in abilities of plants to withstand environmental stresses, vaccine production, organ transplant, cancer research, production of artificial skin, etc. in laboratories. And growing living cells or group of cells outside the plant or animal is called tissue culture, and a complete organism can be developed from a single cell or from tissue. A liquid, solid or gel-like medium prepared from agar which supplies nutrients and energy necessary for tissue culture is used in this technique. In India, animal husbandry is practiced for milk production and for using the cattle as help in farming operations. And rearing of egg and meat yielding chickens is called poultry farming. And silkworms, that is moths, are reared for production of silk. Bombyx mori is the most commonly used variety for sericulture. Thank you, dear students.